nursing me. All things ain't what they used to be now. Where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and east. Whoa, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now.
Dallas Fort Worth, AALAC, the Chasing Your Dream Book Tour and Expo is coming to your area. Mark your calendars, May 18th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have some amazing authors, some amazing business owners that's going to be sharing about their brand. We have some workshop facilitators that's going to be coming out. They're going to be teaching on branding, marketing, and networking. I want you to plan to be in the building, to be educated, empowered, and encouraged. Come out, support.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for Da Crew podcast. Get featured inside the magazine and allow your voice to be heard around the world.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is an international magazine founded in May of 2020 by Queen Angela. Get featured.
At Wings of Transformation Publishing, we are committed to helping our authors reach their goals and pursue their dreams of becoming published authors. We work closely with each author to ensure a successful publishing experience, and we are dedicated to helping them tell their stories in the most meaningful and impactful ways. We look forward to putting you on the path to writing your book.
Hello, and welcome to the Crew Podcast. I am the visionary, Queen Angela, and welcome to Season 2. I want to thank you for tuning in and for all of your support throughout Season 1. We're back, them divas of the airwaves. So thank you for joining us tonight. Share this with someone.
Because I'm back.
Welcome to the SC Book Gal and Friends Chat. We're going to be talking about the latest in book reviews, author interviews, and life. Come on in and join us. We're ready. Are you?
I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they're getting wild for me.
Hey everyone, it's your girl, SC Book Gal 843. And yes, it's a Monday night. So of course, I am here. No, not really. But I am here. This is my bonus show. And I want to dedicate this show to all the librarians out there. Because this past week, it was National Librarians Week. And I would like to say thank you guys for paving the way and for everything you do in the community. But also, April is National Poetry Month. So tonight, I am going to give you recommendation for some of the best poetry books out there for any age level. I have elementary grade, middle grade, tween, and adults, okay? And young adults, okay? So I want you to go ahead, get your paper, your pencils, so you can jot down some of these wonderful titles that is also featured in April's edition of an Aspired Authors magazine. Every month, I give you about 5 to 10 books pertaining to a certain subject, and it is our best of the best, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started with National Poetry Read, okay? So again, this is April 2024, and this is our book spotlight for National Poetry Month, okay? So here's some statistic for you guys. National Poetry Month was created in 1996 to bring forefront the vital contribution of poets to our cultural landscape and the significance of poetry itself. Poetry, what we call in the library, is a language of expression. Technically, almost anybody can be a poet because they're just expressing themselves. Your poetry does not have to rhyme. It does not have to have a stanza. It just has to be about you, your emotions, and how you feel about certain topic, places, thing, really anything. Okay? Each year, tens of millions of participants, including readers, students, educators, librarians, everybody, we zone in and focus on the impact of poetry in our existence. Okay? Guess what, you guys? The concept of the rap battle. Yes, the same thing you saw on Eminem and Homeboy in the movie, that existed in the 5th century. This is where poets would engage in flighting, a spoken word event where the poets would battle each other. Okay? So poetry and battle rap has been here for the longest. Okay? So, like I said, we're going to give you some great reads, okay? We're going to go to the next one. So, this is just one of the things that we have in the library. This is called tile poetry, okay? So, at my job, I have all of these just spread out on an end cap. And my teens every day, they come and they make their own poetry. So this was one that I just took in from when we were doing it on a sheet of paper. And it did not have this words. This one is a Canva one, but there is one that we have that they would put down their emotions every day. Okay. I think one girl put the day, beauty is painful or painless or something along that line. But they were just expressing the way they feel. Okay. Next one. Here are some famous African American poets: Phyllis Wheatley, Langston Hughes, Nikki Giovanni, of course, one of my favorite, Tupac's, and Amanda Gorman. So as you can see, poetry just falls through the ages and comes to line. A lot of our poetry is embedded in the Harlem Renaissance. That's when poetry really, really hit the stage for African Americans because we started talking about the plight, the fight, and the victory. Okay. Just from the Harlem Renaissance, so much of the music, the dance, the clothing, the flair of African American, you could say really started there and continued to where we have it on now. Okay. Our next slide. So, parents, I'm always telling us, let's get these kids back to reading. So, here's some great suggestions for children 0 to 9. Okay. This is a great time to spend that day with your child and wrap it up with some love. Okay. Here's one of the 2023 recipients called More Than Words by Roz McLean. It's a tender, stunning illustrated picture book that celebrates the many form of expression: singing, speaking, signing, smiling, and among others. It includes an additional material at the end of the book with vocabulary and an introduction to various forms of communication. Now, the reason why I chose this book is because the signing at the end of the book, okay? Me and my daughter were in Uber, and our Uber driver had a hard time hearing. It was so cool that he took the time out to show my daughter how to sign thank you. And she just kept doing it the whole time. And it was wonderful that she learned another expression of language. And I really feel that more African Americans should look into other expressive ways of language, just like we do the booty popping. But I ain't I'm gonna be nice and not go there, okay? But this is one a great read for anybody from 0 to 5 as a recommendation, okay? Next slide. Aunt Sue's Stories by Langston Hughes, 2024. I know you're thinking, hold up, Langston Hughes, 2024. A lot of the poetry of Langston Hughes is reuse. It's crazy, right? But a lot of our storytelling has already been here before. As we say in Geechee, been here before. So this is just a retelling in an ancient and powerful human tradition. It ties us to the cultural memory and the experiences of those who came before us, linking one generation to the next. You guys, the illustrations in this book are beautiful. We call this in the library the coffee table books. This will give you along the lines of Jonathan Green. And if you know Jonathan Green, his artwork is very exquisite and tells the tale of African American history. This book is just like that on a kid's level. It is a contemporary artist, Gary Keller, pairs with Hughes' 1926 poem in a picture book form to invite young learners to curl up and listen to Aunt Sue recounts her many shadow cross stories of slavery and life is hard lived. Are there any disclaimers in this book? No, but this book has been on a banned list. And the reason why it was on a banned list is because of it depicting slavery and hard life. But I will say this, it is life. It happened. It's a great conversation starter. Okay? Check this one out. All right, we're going to go to the next one, you guys. How to Write a Poem by Kwame Alexander and Deanna Nkindo. I love Kwame. Meeting him in Charleston, South Carolina at Y'all Fest was so much fun. Between him and Jason Reynolds, they are my favorite male contemporary young adult and tween authors. Kwame teams up with poet Deanna Ngingo and Caldecott honoree Melissa Sweet to celebrate the magic of discovering your very own poetry in the world around you. Kwame is a big advocate of telling your stories. He always has some type of essay contest going on. He's always volunteering his time to schools and goes across the world speaking of poetry. His books are very much so on high demand when it comes to the library. So you want to check this one out. I would say this is a great one for your third and your fourth graders, something that they'll be able to handle on themselves with just a little bit of help from mom, teacher, or friend, or someone that is able to guide them. Okay. Next slide, you guys. So this age group is the finicky age group because this is the 10 to 14, whereas they're too big for the baby books, but too young for the young adult books. So this is a special category we call tweens, 10 to 14. Okay. All of these books will be on their level. Okay. This one is called Bright Red Fruit by Safina Ihalo. Make a World is this new publishing company. Want to say in existence maybe 1 or 2 years. The reason why I love this publishing company, look at that cover, you guys. Check that cover. I'm a cover girl. So if your cover grabs me, I'm going to read your book. This is one of those ones that we put out on an end cap and it's gone. Just like this. Because the cover. Bad girl, no matter how hard Samaya tries, she can't shake her representation. Y'all know what I'm saying. Reputation. She never's gotten the benefit of a doubt, not from her mother or her aunties who watch her like a hawk. Okay, so we're talking about this young girl who she always stayed in trouble. Always, always, always. But there was something that was going on in her life that placed her in the situations that she was. But over the time in this book, her character has to go through so much more that now she's having to prove herself or lose her let's say lose her reputation as the bad girl. Okay, so in other words, this is the bad girl going good, but you're going to lose a lot of friends down the line. So I usually give this one to um I call them my hardcore girls, my girls of the attitude essence. This is the one I give them to. Bright Red Fruit, great read. You do not want to not read this one. Next one, Mid-Air by Alicia D. Williams. This one, you guys, is for my fellas. It is what we call a quick read. And the reason why we call it a quick read, because all the poems are less than 2 pages. And this is one for my reluctant readers. My kids that say, I don't want to read, I don't read any books. This is one that they would love, okay? A hit and run killed Darius in the midst of a record breaking long wheelie when Isaiah should have been keeping watch, ready to warn, car! Now, Drew can barely look at Isaiah, but Isaiah, already quaking with ache and guilt, can't lose 2 friends. So he has to come up with a plan to keep Drew and him together so they can spend the summer breaking records for Darius. But Drew's not the same Drew since Darius was killed, and Isaiah, being Isaiah, isn't enough for Drew anymore. Now, not that his taste in clothes, his love of rock music, and his aversion to jumping off rooftops. And one day, something unspeakable happens to Isaiah that makes him think Drew's right. If only he could be less sensitive, more tough, less weird, more cool, less him, things be a little easy. But how much can Isaiah keep inside when he's shattered wide open? This is another great read when you're talking about teens and how to deal with their emotion. This book does bring raw emotion out, but it is done in the most beautiful way. You guys want to meet Mid-Air by Alicia D. Williams. Our next one. You guys, I just love this because we all have that one person in our lives on the street back in the day that we call the mayor. Okay. On my aunt street, they still keep it like that. And we call him Mr. President. And Mr. President knew everything that was going on the street. This book brought that back to mind. Lessons from my grandpa, the mayor of 10th Avenue, a collection of poems and rhymes. You guys, it is just like a sound, that poetry book that reminds you of your past. Okay? You remember the fire hydrants, and the police, or I'm sorry, the firefighter used to take the water out, call himself flushing the line. It wasn't flushing the line. That was us running around in that water. This was playing football in the middle of the street, moving out the way so the cars can come by. This is your type of book. When reading this book, I could see the great grandmama sitting on her couch, on the front porch from her couch. I could see the chili bear lady where all the kids are getting their little quarter chili bears. This one, great read, great for those who are struggling with reading, but do not want to show that they're struggling. Okay. Lessons from my grandpa, the Mayor 10th Avenue. Next one. My young adults, these are for you. These are the mature titles that you guys want. Parents, do not shy away from these. Some of the subjects are controversial, but like I said, controversial books are called conversation starters, in which we need in our households today. Next slide, please. Brown Girl Grimm. Now, this one I'm going to say I have not read. This is on my to be read list. The reason why I chose this book, you guys, look at the cover. Overall, this collection of the poetry, poems, and skits, monologues about raising Black, returning to our basic, that is essentialness to our relationship to friends, family, community, and faith, yet through the lights of joy and pain, and finding the stuff of our faith, resilience, and hope again. Okay? That title was enough. Okay? Writing is a love and hate thing, whereas I struggle to get what I want, need to say out as cleanly, and clearly as possible. That was said by the author of this book, Penny McHarren. You guys, this is on my to be read list. As you can notice, it has not even been released yet. The release date I want to see May 5th in about 2 weeks. So this one I will be grabbing. Okay. Next one. Black Girl, You Are an Atlas by Renee Watson. My daughter loves Renee Watson. It was crazy. My daughter is fond of this series called The Dork Diaries. It is stencil, is the girl's version of a Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Okay. So me thinking that, oh my God, my daughter's now reading a book. Why does she want this series? This series has nothing to do with her. I want her to read more books by African American or diverse authors. Come to find out, y'all, the author is African American. Baby, you could read all of them. The way she comes off, the characters in the Dork Diary are colorless, and I do like that. This one is one of her new ones that has been released last week. Yeah. In the semi-autographical collection of poems, Renee Watson writes about her experience growing up as a young Black girl in the intersection of race, class, and gender. I think this one is one that needs to be in the forefront right now. I have not read this one because it just came in, but this is also on my to be read list. Using various poetic forms of haiku to free verse, Watson shared her recollection of her childhood in Portland, tender odes to the Black women in her life, and an urgent call for Black girls to step into their power. So you guys want to grab this one. Black Girl, You Are an Atlas by Renee Watson. Next one. And for my boys, you know I can leave them out. It's called Dark Testimony, Blackout Poems by Crystal Simone Smith. Blackout Poems is very popular, okay? We have that at our library. We do that every April. We give our teens a page out of an old book, and they make poetry by blacking out the words until the words that are still being shown is a poetry. It's very popular. Bold and deeply affecting Dark Testament is a remarkable reckoning of our present moment, a call to action, and a plea for a more just future. This one was released last year. It did not get much attention. It is not until I saw this author at PLA that it became on my radar. So, you guys want to read this. Dark Testament, Blackout Poems by Crystal Simone Smith. So, of course, we're going to go to our adults. We can't leave you guys by yourself, okay? So, here's my recommendation for adult books. Next one. So, you know I had to put this because she was on my show. That book. That's all I'm going to tell you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go and share the show that she was on because some of that poetry in the book, I was like, oh my God. Reflecting Why develops from the concept of self-reflection, a skill that many of us have failed to grasp. It involves dedicating time to asking ourselves the crucial questions we often neglect to ask ourselves. Despite others posing these queries to us, this is the second in her Phoenix series. The questions, they're, I think she, either this one or the book before, is loosely about her life and some of the things she's been through. The poetry is sweet. There's one book even about a mistress, and one poem that's even about a mistress, which was like, oh my God. But it was an eye opener. It made you think from her standpoint of view. But grab this one. This is new. I'm telling you, the cover by itself is just awesome. Reflections Rising by Marcine M. Moore. Next one. So y'all know I had to have this right. My buddies, Michelle J. Jackson and Ms. Lyris Watson, two sisters of rock and rhyme. Think 80s, 90s, a different world. Poetry. Your whole 80s and 90s, for me, it's my whole teenage years and my upbringing is in this book. Y'all, it was the bestseller. And I think it's number 4 or 5 now. When it came out, it was bestseller, straight to the top. The cover by itself is one of those books that I asked them, can I get a picture of the cover? She said she's going to send it to me. Yes. But the book itself is wonderful. It gives me that 80s and 90s feel of the childhood, the outside, the bamboo earrings, the cross colors. Yes. So you guys, Sisters of Rock and Rhymes represent poems in the key of life. You got to grab that one. Next one. So I don't think our producer I hope she knew that I was going to put her books in here. The queen of collaboration herself. And I am very happy to be a part of this book series, okay? Y'all, Silently Hurting Aside, the 3-book series, Forgiveness, Hope, and Love. You guys have to grab this. I participated, and I want to say either 1 or 2. Yeah, 1 or 2 of them. And it helped me. It helped me get through some crazy stuff. But whenever my sisters say, hey girl, we about to do this, this, and this, and if I can do it, I'm gonna do it. And she gave me the opportunity to be a part of this wonderful book, and I did it. It is still on Kindle Unlimited. That's what I showed y'all. So if you have a Kindle Unlimited, you pay that $11.99 a month. Go ahead and invest in yourself in reading these 3 titles, okay? We're going to go to the next slide. And I can't forget to talk and brag about your copy and to congratulate our 2024 Poetess of the Year, Mrs. Johnson. Congratulations on winning this title. You will see her every month in Aspiring Authors Magazine poetry section. She is going to contribute to it. She won this award, and they voted for her. Not any of us at the magazine. The people spoke for themselves. Congratulations, Ms. Johnson. Next slide. What does it say? Thank you for joining us. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. These book recommendations I love to do, and we call them book talks. I can't always have authors. I need to tell you what I read. So thank you for joining us tonight. I see you Saturday night. A new book, a new author, all at 8. Good night, everyone. Bye. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you found a new book to read or a new author to explore. Join us again in 2 weeks for SC Book Gals and Friends Chat. Have a good evening. Bye.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. skies, no